welcome to the Point in Progress podcast, episode 10. That's right, we made it to 10. Your one-stop shop for news, recommendations, and some spicy takes. Join 5 friends across 3 time zones and 2 countries every week as we discuss all things we love while still thinking critically about them. I am your host this week, Mario Rivera. I am, of course, joined by everyone that you love so much, starting with the person above me. Sly, how's it going?
Going all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm having a good time. The spaghetti is spicy here. It's so good. I'm having a good time.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to hear it.
No, that's good. That's good. Across from you, of course. Hey, hold on. I look at Fiona. Hey, how's it going?
You're looking the wrong way, dude.
Hey, Fiona, how you doing?
For the people who are like listening to this podcast, Mario's looking around the cameras like on the actual screen. You'll have to check it out on YouTube, guys.
Yeah. Just to give you a what we see here, Mario is currently live at a Buca de Beppo.
Yes, I'm currently at Buca de Beppo. I rented the whole place out so that way
Yeah.
I could just enjoy the Pope table by myself. The Pope thing is right across from me. So
yeah, we're now sponsored by the Vatican.
We were sponsored by the Vatican. They gave me the shirt, which was also really nice. Speaking, of course, is no longer on Venom Unfit Snake. Who are you?
I am now the man formerly known as Venom Unfit Snake. I changed my name to Kestrel 1A. I wanted Kestrel A1 because I say that everything is A1, but some fucking asshole said, you know what? I'm going to take this name and do absolutely nothing with it. So now I'm Kestrel 1A.
In it? What if you
I didn't want to do any kind of like
Why didn't you
underscore
just
or any
type
kind
out
of
the
symbols or
word
anything.
One?
While Frank figures out how to change his name again, I'm gonna go right to the man in the middle, Harv. How you doing, Harv?
I'm doing well.
This episode's got energy.
It does.
There's a dog in here. Holy shit! There's a dog in this Buca de Beppo.
Someone let a dog into this Buca de Beppo.
Oh my god! Oh, man.
I'm doing well. It's been a long week, but here we are.
Good. I was happy to be with everybody. I missed you all. It's been a long week, and I wish we were all here together. At Buca de Beppo. One day we got to do it.
Is it just a fancy Olive Garden?
It's
literally just a fancy.
It's 100%.
It's a step. It's definitely a step up from Olive Garden, but it's just a fancy Olive Garden.
That's right. Just want to do sort of like a housekeeping right when we start right now. So far, it looks like there's going to be a Overwatch charity tournament. I believe, Harv, you have the deets on that?
So we have an Overwatch charity tournament coming up this weekend. Obviously, when you guys hear this or listen to it, the first weekend will be over for the charity tournament, but they're having it for the next 2 weekends, 2 weekends after this as well. Okay. So there are about 5 teams playing. It's all for charity. Let me get the charity for a quick second. It is the Stop AAPI Hate charity that we're doing, that we're raising money for. This is all run by Billy the Door, which is a KFBF, as everybody probably knows. And this is the 3rd tournament that they've ran, and this is all about Overwatch. So we got about 25 people or so that joined in, and I'm really, really excited. Excited.
I'm excited. So I'm happy. I'll watch. My invite. I got lost in the mail, but it's totally cool.
Maybe got lost at Buca de Beppo. I don't know. Maybe that dog ate it. Maybe the dog ate it.
Dog ate your invite.
Yeah, that dog. God damn it! I knew I shouldn't have rented out this Buca de Beppo. I'm sort of sleeping here too. It's really bad. Also, really quickly, I did want to mention that I was also on the Nerdic podcast where I got to guest with the people over there. Really sweet. That video should be live by the time this video comes out. So check out the description down below. It should be there as well. But while we're at it, let's do a little bit of the checkpoint. What do you guys have been playing this week? I'm actually going to go ahead and jump it straight over to Frank. Frank, what have you been doing?
I've been playing that good old-fashioned Overlook. It's pretty good. Obviously, I've been playing with my friends Harv and Fee here. We've been crushing it, destroying these people, just showing them what's what. Obviously, getting ready for the tournament. Me and Fee are on a team, whereas Harv's got his own team full of other people. Funny enough, Mario, we actually on our team, ours and Fee, we have Nerf Alice, the one who did your art, I believe.
Oh, I love their Alice. She's the greatest.
I believe she's our damage dealer, but I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that.
That's cool.
Yeah, we have Nerf Alice on our team. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. These Harv and his friends and Fee, they've definitely reignited my love of Overwatch. I hated it before, and I think I've even said on the podcast I absolutely loathe Overwatch. But with an actual team and people who know what they're doing, the game is actually a lot of fun. On top of that, I've been playing some Loop Hero. By God, I don't know why. I don't know. It was just a random, like, you know what, I'm going to screw around with this game for 10 minutes. And it's 10 minutes turned into 30 hours. That game is insanely fun. It's weird because the reason I didn't want to play it is because I didn't want to necessarily learn any new mechanics. Like, it's like learning a card game almost when you kind of learn a new game, especially like a roguelike or any kind of RPG. But the reason why I decided to play it was just because I heard it was pretty easy to get into, and it is. You can technically get what's kind of going on within 20 minutes, and you know, it allows you to experiment more and more. You can't really lose in the game. You die and lose items, but you're not necessarily gonna, like, if you die a certain amount of times and the game's over, stuff like that. No. The game wants you to experiment. The game wants you to try new things every loop. I even tried to do a loop of just nothing but villages just to see what happened, and I couldn't get it, but it allows you to do that. And that freedom of exploration and just the amount of expandability you get within the gameplay where you can craft items, you can add new things to your town, stuff like that. It's really fun. Like, I don't want to say it now, but I'm gonna say it for right now. And that is, at least right now at this point, it's my favorite game of this year.
That's actually pretty crazy because, yeah, I think it might also be my favorite. And I want to blame Fiona for that, for introducing this game really to us, especially, I believe, because you also gifted me, whoever gifted me the copy, I think it was.
I got it for you.
Oh, you got it?
So I bought you a copy.
Got it.
Fee bought Harv a copy.
Got it.
I think I bought my copy.
Yeah.
I'm still getting to it. At some point, I want to play it. It's just I've just been overwatching the entire time, or overlooking, as Frank says.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've got to get to it at some point, which I'm hoping for next week, because I do want to still start Resident Evil 7. So, anyways.
No, for sure. And again, like I said, thank you, Fee, for introducing us to this game, because now
thank you, Fee.
By far my front runner for the best thing this year.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's basically it for me.
Okay. Harv, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Overwatch. Like, insane amount. I watched Owl for the first time today, which was a lot of fun.
How was that?
Because these players are just like, my God, these players are so good.
They're nuts, man. Some of these players are
like,
insane.
I just don't understand some of the movement and stuff like that. But like, I want to start understanding how this whole league works, that kind of type of thing. And I'm just having so much fun just watching. Because once you start getting addicted to something, or like watching like a sport in a way, or like playing one like a sport, let's just say like you're playing hockey for example, or basketball, you want to start watching better players try to be better as well. So that's
you want to emulate them a little bit.
Yeah, because that's kind of where I'm at, right? And I'm glad that I picked a character that is used mostly in there. That's not a shot at you, Fee.
Damn.
That was not a shot at Fee. She
can't believe you just said that.
Death stare.
Can't believe you just said that. No, you're right,
But,
though. You're right. And we can get tactics off of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about playing a game as long as we have, and just building like, and then staying with your own teams. It's just like we're building like tactics now, and we're doing crazy shit. Like, if you want to talk about that one tactic we do on Antarctica.
Oh yeah, in Voskaya, it's just like
Voskaya,
one of the levels is just like flank the other team on the left-hand side and get to the point where they have no idea that we even did it at all, and it's so much fun to do, like those kind of things. This weekend I am going to be playing a new game, which I'm really excited for, which is First Class Trouble.
Ooh.
And that's kind of like an Among Us game with a BioShock-ish art style.
Mm-hmm.
BioShock Ultimate. Is it Ultimate?
Yeah.
I would
Is that what
say, yeah, but just regular Bioshock, honestly.
Infinite.
Yeah,
It's
I
more
could see that.
Infinite,
Yeah.
Valka type thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like an Among Us kind of game, which I'm really, really excited about. It's something new and it's something a little different. And then hopefully next week I'm going to be starting Resident Evil 7 again, finishing it before Resident Evil 8, because I know those two games are interconnected. Right, they pretty much happen almost like it seems like almost right after each other, or at least a little bit.
About a year or so.
About a year,
or so.
yeah. So that's my plan for the next little while.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm gonna go straight to Sly because this is great. I reviewed the game that they have played, and I'm very curious of what they think. Yeah.
Yeah, so I picked up Twin Mirror recently because it's been on sale, and I'm a huge Dontnod fan. Like, I've just really enjoyed all of their games. Their storytelling just really vibes with me. I've been enjoying it. I wouldn't say it's a perfect game, obviously. It's, some of it's kind of janky, but that's kind of the charm of Dontnod games is they're kind of janky. The only real problem I had with it is Mario will know what I'm talking about probably. The sequence when you're in a hallway trying to navigate through the doors just does not control well, and that was really frustrating for me. But so far, for anybody who's played it, I just got to investigating the crash scene. So I haven't gone through that yet. But so far, the story's pretty intriguing. It's been fun to kind of suss out the relationships. I'm enjoying it. I wouldn't say it's necessarily an amazing game, but it fits my vibe, and I've been really liking it.
Yeah, that's actually, it's funny you say the car crash stuff because that's where my demo ended when I did the preview. And that's when I was like the highest on that game of like, where could this story go? But it's actually, I believe, after that, where in my opinion, I think the game takes a not so great turn. And I really wanted them to flesh out those characters and motivations and stuff that was possibly happening, especially with the other. But yeah, I'm curious what you feel after you finish the game. Like I said, I don't think it's personally my favorite, but I at very least like their attempt. I do think it's one of the prettier games that they've released, and I'm excited to see what they do later for sure. But for now, yeah, I think Twin Mirror is just an okay game, and if you get it on sale, it's like you could do worse, to be honest. So
yeah, I'm really excited to see where it goes. I mean, obviously I read through your review and you weren't so high on it. So I'm excited to see how I feel about it. But yeah, I loved the art style of Tell Me Why. Obviously, it's one of my favorite games. I just love that game in general. But Twin Mirror is so pretty, and I really like what they did with the different worlds and just the art styles of both. I think it's a really pretty game.
yeah, for sure. Before I switch over to Fee, I do want to ask because you were not here the week that the new Life is Strange game was announced. What's your thoughts on those? Especially that it's not a donut game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see where it goes. I've really enjoyed all of Dontnod's games so far. I like that universe. It has a really deep connection to me being in college. For anybody who doesn't know the story, I played Life is Strange my first term of college as a group of it grew to about 25 people at the max. Over the course of a week, we played one episode every night. And that's where I met some of my best friends. And so I have a really deep emotional connection to the universe. So, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think there's real potential to do great, but there's also real potential to kind of mess that up. So I hope it's good. I never want anything to be bad, but we'll see. We'll see.
No, for sure. I think it'd be kind of cool though if you wanted after you finish Twin Mirror, if you wanted to do a video just me and you talking about it. because I'm very interested in other people that have played it. Okay, great. Was there anything else, or pretty much Twin Mirrors taking up your time?
I've been working on an audition for something.
Okay.
I don't want to talk too much about that until, I'm done with that. But yeah, I've been working on auditioning for something, so that's been most of my time.
Are you also auditioning for Chicago PD? That's in Chicago.
No,
That's
I'm
the
not.
meme here in Chicago because everybody's on that fucking show.
I
Everybody's
should
got a
probably
story
try
of
it.
somebody of their grandfather or like uncle or something like that being on that show.
Yeah.
Of any of the Chicago shows, the one I would least want to be on is PD. But if it was
Which one would you
Fire,
want to be
absolutely.
on? Okay, Fire.
I want to
Fire
be
is
there.
my favorite. Med is okay, and I don't like PD.
I just want to be the bloated corpse at the morgue that they have to like go look at and be like, he died because he ate too much, but really he has a bullet in his chest or something. I don't know. I just want to be that guy.
It looks like a bullet wound to me.
Or is it a bean? I'm not sure. I am happy that you are playing in the new Donut game. But Fee, what have you been doing? I'm very curious.
Well, other than perpetually still trying to get over the final chapter of Attack on Titan that came out last week, I've been also playing Overwatch. And even though Harv decided to shade me about Owl because they won't no one played my main, so that was a little bit rough to see, but now I need to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to play some of the other ones, like, because I'm mostly a healer, like I'm a support, and so that's been it's been a lot of fun. Like, honestly, like, when I first started, I was definitely like concerned of how I was playing because everyone else had experience playing the game or with shooters. I don't very much have that. If you guys have been actually listening to the podcast for the past 10 weeks at this point, I typically don't play games like this. So just starting it up and making a whole lot of, like, a bunch of new friends has been really great. I also played a JRPG called Yves 8. It's something. It's really something.
It's a video game.
It's a video game. I don't, like, strictly because Harv said I wasn't going to finish it, I feel like I'm now obligated to finish it, to be like, F you, Harv, I finished the game. But at the same time, I don't know. Also, actually, I completely forgot. Last night, a few of us started playing Minecraft. And Frank and I have a vendetta against each other because I accidentally hit him. And then he proceeded to come after me with a bunch of slaps because he's just like, you deserve this because you purposely tried to hurt me. I said, no, I just forgot the controls and I thought I had to click to pick up stuff. And so he chased me around as essentially a dollar store Aaron Yeager, and continued to scream at me all the way around our town. So that was great. So those are the things I've been playing this week. It's been good.
I have the video for this. I completely forgot about that until you mentioned it. I have the video for this. It's literally just Fee. Like, we're playing with our one of the people we play with Overwatch, and one of Harv's friends, Dustin. He teleported Fee over there, and immediately I was just like, "What up with it, Fee?" And I just started like jumping her. I just started like straight hooking, and she's just like, "Stop!" I'm like, "What's up with it? What's up with it? You punched me earlier. What's up?" She's just like running around the makeshift house I made. It's great. I love it. Can't wait to start playing more Minecraft.
I will say this, Fee. If you beat Yeez,
Yeah.
I will play Minecraft.
Oh,
Why would you put that on me?
That's why. Why that game, Harv? Any other game would be better to do that. And Minecraft's actually a good game, so that's why I'm like,
I've
why?
never played Minecraft, and I feel like there's just something about Minecraft I just don't like. There's the
How
aesthetic
can
of
you
it.
say that?
I don't like the aesthetic of Minecraft.
Minecraft was such a huge part
still
of
is.
my entire life
Oh.
when I was like early high school. Like, I put so much time into that fucking game, and I have not touched it since like 1.8.
Well, I hope I'm gonna get in that server and I'm gonna build me a mansion so I can hang out with y'all. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean,
you really went.
it's in the
Western.
point in progress Discord. If just put your name in there.
I'm going to while you guys are just building homes, I'm just gonna make myself believe that we have a Game of Thrones narrative, and I'm gonna have to find a way to burn down
And then kill all the cats.
You also forgot to mention that you spent 4 hours yesterday building a character.
It looks sick.
It seems like the character creation in Minecraft is way better than Cyberpunk.
Honestly, it was a lot of fun. I made a really
Damn.
cute character. She has
Put some
hiking
shade.
boots.
Your
Leave
character
me
looks really
alone.
good. You can put Fee's character here.
Yeah.
There.
You can also download it, guys, and use it yourself.
That's
Nope.
weird.
Nope.
I wanted to save it, and that was the only way to do it, apparently.
The one way I learned that Frank doesn't watch the podcast is because whenever we do that, I never do it. I'm lazy.
Yeah.
You will this week because you're editing this.
I'm gonna have to listen now.
Yeah. So that's my bet to you, Fee. That's my bet to you.
Okay.
Finish that game,
When
Or
Dustin
at least,
asks
like-
what happened to me, I'm
or
gonna...
at least get like. You know what? I was gonna say get at least like 30 or 40 hours into it, because that game can't be like a 12-hour game, right?
No.
It's a JRPG. It can't be. You guys talk amongst each other. I'm gonna see how long it is.
Okay. Mario, how's it been going?
What have you been playing, man?
A little bit of the Overwatch with y'all. I've been playing a little bit of Loop Hero as well. I've beat the second boss, so I only have 2 more bosses. The
Okay.
third level is a lot harder for some reason. But I'm gonna try. I'm trying my best to get through that. But I think it's funny. As you can tell, I'm at a book at a Beppo. They luckily have a VCR player, so I've actually have been watching a bunch of older films, just trying to catch up. And I actually watched a documentary called "The Last Blockbuster."
The Last Airbender.
The Last Airbender, yes. How
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's
actually.
on Netflix, which is ironic. But how many of you have actually visited a Blockbuster? 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
Blockbuster was like,
Yeah.
yeah, just like everywhere.
That
and
used to
so-
be my days, man.
Oh my god.
Also, I live near Bend, so like
Which I'm so jealous. So yeah, so the documentary is a combination of, just, which is so bad because it feels like it was just like last week, but it's a sort of dissemination of like telling the youth what a Blockbuster was,
Mhm.
which is awful to sort of have, because you're basically just reminiscing with a bunch of people that either have done the same thing that you have. But it also tells the story of like what happened to Blockbuster, of course, and then leading up to the fact that it wasn't actually Netflix that killed it, which is interesting. But it tells the story of, yes, the last Blockbuster, which is in Bend, Oregon. And I am upset because I want to go. It does
Dude,
sound
let's
like
go. Let's go.
I mean,
Let's just go.
No,
come
PAX.
visit. I'll
Yeah.
take you.
Next time we go to PAX, if we go to PAX next year,
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe.
Let's
Seattle
go.
to
Let's go.
Bend is a rough drive, y'all.
I mean, yeah, but I'll take a bus. I don't care. So my, and it's funny you say that because I know that we're talking about what we've been playing, but my Oregon trek,
Your Oregon
is-
Trail.
my Oregon Trail, if you will, is actually we'll probably go to PAX, right? Then I'll go to Snoqualmie, so that way I can go to the Twin Peaks town and visit all of that. Then go to the town in which Goonies is based on, which Astoria, which I don't even know if it's a real place or not. Oh,
Astoria, Oregon is a real place.
okay, awesome, excited. So definitely gonna go to Astoria, which is literally just sightseeing. I'm just going to towns and then making it back to Bend. I don't even know which direction that would be. Also, apparently avoiding white supremacists. Apparently, there's a bunch of them in Oregon. I'm not sure. And that would be my trip. That would be my trip into Oregon. But yeah,
I
that's
just want you to know that route you would be going from like like middle/western Washington to eastern Washington to the coast of Oregon to eastern Oregon. That would be an awful route.
Sorry, I just want to capture this for prosperity. It is a female. It's a female dog humping a male dog.
I didn't get any of that. It looked like something out of a fucking David Lynch film.
You're welcome. You're welcome. In the store. But yes, that sounds like a hell of a journey, and I would love to trek it. But anyways, to tie it back in with the last blockbuster, very interesting doc. I think the doc is a little bit too long, but I think the story is interesting, and I would recommend it for people. It's on Netflix. You know, if you just have nothing to watch, this is perfect.
Yeah, I love the way they get their new releases. Is just a lady who goes to Walmart and picks up a bunch of DVDs.
It's so like, yeah. And I didn't know. I mean, because I never bought VHSs when I was younger. I didn't know idea they were like $99.
Mm-hmm.
And then Blockbuster and like video stores, shut up, dog. Were like giving it to them for $75 until eventually they learned like to do a revenue share, and it was like $5. But yeah, a lot of stuff you can learn in this documentary. But that has been everything that I think we've all been playing and watching, and I think it is time to move on to our second segment, which of course is the patch notes.
Yeah.
Also, before we get there,
Yes, before we get there,
I looked at Yee's 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. Okay, it's a 37.5-hour game. So if you can get through 37.5 hours of that game, I will play Minecraft.
Okay, well, I have Tuesday off.
there you go. It's 24 hours right there.
You get a good chunk of it out. You can get 3/4 of it out at least.
I mean, I'd rather like have Harv try to beat the first 3 dungeons in Persona 5, but whatever. Moving on.
I will do that. I would do that gladly.
Moving on.
I love that game.
Okay. We're gonna go straight into this book of Beppo is insane.
Yeah.
We're gonna move straight into the patch notes. Go ahead, Frank.
Tell that dinner to shut up. So this week, I actually didn't write the news this week. I'm gonna give all the credit to Fee. Fee did an insanely good job. I had to go buy a new computer. I have a new computer. It's currently sitting in the other room right now. We'll talk about that later. But thank you, Fee, again for writing the news for me this week. You saved my ass. But our first article this week comes from Eurogamer, and that is the Resident Evil showcase. Who did you, Mar? Did you actually watch the showcase?
Yeah, I watched it with who? What was your question?
Oh no, I was just asking. So yeah, let me go ahead and read this here. So Capcom kept us all on edge in our seats as they started off the conference with a new RE Village trailer. Can I get an Ethan Winters? A Village demo will be available on all platforms: PS5, PS4, Stadia, Steam, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. Only available on May 2nd. You can check out the Village or Castle areas, or even both, but you only have 60 minutes. Actually, this is very similar to the RE2 one-shot demo. Instead of if I remember correctly, you only got about 60 seconds or 60 minutes on that original demo. Mario's not here, so you can't confirm that. Did you either of you play anybody play the RE2 one-shot? No.
Oh, wait,
I
no.
did.
I did not.
You did? Do
Yeah.
you remember? Because I remember you could only it was a
It's
speedrun
30
thing.
minutes.
It was only 30 minutes.
Yeah. Of whatever you did, and that was really it.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So here we go. We also got a look at their Capcom's new competitive multiplayer, Resident Evil RE-verse. That will also be available for free for Village owners. And there were also a number of other reveals, such as a new CGI Netflix series releasing in July of 2021, following the story of Leon and Claire, and a couple years after RE4. By the way, Leon should really stop being a bodyguard to presidents. If you've seen the trailer for that,
Yeah.
because he's not very good at it.
I think this is actually that same president, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
So
It's
is it
somebody's dad, right?
is it? So here's the thing. I didn't really pay attention. So it's Ashley Graham's
they
dad.
mentioned it.
Yeah,
they mentioned
I'm
that in
like
the-
I'm 99% sure. Like this is after Resident Evil 4 and before RE6, because you know what happens in RE6.
So here's the thing: that president's different in RE6, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong.
I thought
If I'm wrong,
I thought it
listen
was
to
the
me.
same guy.
So I think that president from RE4 steps down before Resident Evil 6, and the Resident Evil 6 president isn't Ashley Graham's dad.
Oh.
It's a different president.
Then I was wrong.
So
My apologies.
Resident Evil 6 has U.S. President Adam Bedford.
yeah, Bedford. He's not President Graham.
Got it. But this one is the movie version, the one that
Yeah.
they have now, is the one that is Ashley.
Yeah, Ashley's dad. Okay, that makes sense. I didn't catch that, but thank you for telling me that. And then we also have a live action movie. Welcome to Raccoon City is wrapping up production. It's still to be announced. I still have no idea what
They're finishing up the CGI here in Vancouver.
The monsters, is that as they said.
Yeah.
But we already have a date already, which was it was pushed to.
It was weird, right? Because they said
Yeah.
they didn't have a date. That they're gonna say they're gonna release a date soon, but like
Yeah,
the date's already been out in November, I think, right? Because it was September, and then they
it's Thanksgiving.
delayed it.
It's
Yeah.
Thanksgiving now, yeah. Which I don't know. All right.
Yeah, I still don't know what this movie is. Is it like we're still confused? I think we talked about this a few weeks back. If you want to get our thoughts on that, go ahead and watch that. But yeah, it's still very confusing on what this movie is.
Other than it's combining the first two games, that's all we know. We don't know how.
Yeah, it's very weird. And then we also, and this is my favorite announcement of the whole thing, Resident Evil is coming to Dead by Daylight, and more details will be announced on a Dead by Daylight kind of their own little I don't know what you would call their own little conference, quote unquote.
They have like little
on May
directs
25th. Yeah, they have their
sometimes,
small little directs. And that'll be on May 25th as well. I'm hyper excited about that. I don't know who they would choose to be the killer. They have plenty of different people who could be survivors. If they're looking to tie it in with RE8, it's probably going to be Lady D and Ethan. But I doubt it for some reason. But we'll see. We'll see.
I was having a discussion with Fee. And I was like, okay, I hope it's Mr. X. I really
want it to be Mr. X too.
That or Nemesis would be really cool.
Nemesis, yes.
It would be cool to have those, but from what I understand, there's actually like lore to why these people are selected.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, those two creatures are like robotic, like automatons that don't have like a directive, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so it has to be somebody with a personality, like a Birkin or something.
Yeah, it could be. So,
like, how do
that's
you
a good one too, actually.
Oh, yeah, I guess you could do Birkin.
It could be William Birkin, because William Birkin does die. A lot of the killers that are within that universe, except for I believe the Huntress, because it's never confirmed that she's dead.
No, they never confirmed it. She entered the mist in the Black Forest, and then she ended up at the campfire.
Yeah,
Birkin would be interesting. But like, what stage of Birkin would you get?
It would be stage 3 Birkin, right before he turns into like weird globby, ground beef Birkin. He can be, or Nemesis. Nemesis gives a lot of opportunities because he has tentacles. He can punch, stuff like that. Like, I doubt they would give him guns. They wouldn't give him guns.
Mr. X so bad.
Mr. X would be fun.
That would make me want to play Dead by Daylight just because Mr. X would be in it.
Who would you want to be the survivor?
I would like Claire.
Ashley Graham.
Or Ashley Graham. Yeah.
Ashley would be a good one.
Yeah.
Sherry would be another good one.
Even Chris Redfield would be fine too.
Which version of Chris Redfield would you want? Would you want like skinny stars Chris Redfield or jacked as fuck?
No, it'd be the younger version, I think, because I feel like that would fit the aesthetic better than having a jacked Chris Redfield. Because I'd be like, you know what? I could just fuck you up. Fine.
Chris Redfield just punching boulders. He doesn't care. All the stuff on the thing, there's no looping anymore. He's just punching his way through the map. The door he doesn't even need power for the door. He just punches open the door.
He goes like this.
Just rips it open.
Yeah. The only thing I could specifically think that they might go with the vampire, vampire lady, because they typically go like female male when it comes to murderers, and they just released the newest edition, who is the K-pop, I'm not going to say the specific word people have been calling him, it's a K-pop idol.
From what I've heard, a lot of people, he's the hot Joker version of Yeah, he looks essentially
there's a lot of
like
thirst.
a TOP cover, like a mix between TOP and every single guy from BTS in the best way possible. So yeah, really great choices, guys. They did really well on him, even though it's creepy as hell. But yeah, they might go with her just because of timing. It would probably make the most sense, even though I know there's a ton of great people in our like Resident Evil, but I think that might make the most sense time wise. Also, they seem to have like a whole thing about like tall women in that game, because you have people like the Huntress, the Plague, oh my god, what is her name? Like a few.
The Huntress is pretty tall. If I remember
yeah, the
correctly.
Huntress is pretty tall. I was just trying to think of survivor wise. There's a lot of taller women, so it might just go with the brand.
I want the merchant.
What are you buying?
Yeah, I just want him to go. What are you buying?
selling?
What are you selling?
That'll be the survivor who just walks around and he's just like, "What are you buying?"
What's your favorite merchant?
Him.
What are you
I
buying?
think this new one is probably the 4 one. Resident Evil 4 had one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or
RE4 originated that.
Yeah. I think 4 is also my favorite, but this new one 8 looks pretty good too. Not gonna lie.
My favorite thing is when you sell him an RPG, he just goes, stranger, now that's a weapon. And I'm like, whoa, dude, you need to chill out, bud. All right. You're getting a little too into this.
Yeah.
But speaking of RE4, there was one more surprise announcement at the end of the presentation, and that was Resident Evil 4 is getting technically remade, not necessarily remade, but it is getting reworked to be worked on the to play on the Oculus Quest 2. I don't know the details on this or whether or not it is exclusive to the Oculus Quest 2, or if you have a previous Quest 1 or a Rift S, if that is available to those owners as well, or if you can maybe move that over to like maybe a Vive or an Index. But yeah, Resident Evil is coming to VR in a first-person perspective. Mario just phantom out of Buca de Beppo. Just disappeared.
One thing
He had to go to the kitchen, guys.
Yeah, he's got to go take the kitchen tour.
one thing I found it weird was they went from Resident Evil 7, which was VR compatible, and then they decided not to do that with 8, but then they moved it to Resident Evil 4, which was a weird jump. And it's currently only available on the Oculus, and there's no say as to if it's going to be coming over to PlayStation.
Yeah, because I know Facebook Labs is working on that, so that would explain the exclusivity.
Yeah.
Mario just this is the cat. This is the pet cast. I have a cat here. Mario has a dog.
Hera's
Say
over
hi.
there.
Hera is not in frame. Harv has his tub of water.
See, Sly and I are on the same boat. We're on the same boat here.
I love my water. I do wish they would have add some more details to RE4 VR. It does looks very dated in my opinion. But we'll see. I'm definitely gonna play the crap out of it.
There's a reason why I think they didn't show RE4 there. It's because they would have overshadowed RE8.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Do you think
it's probably good that they didn't show it?
Do you still think there's a RE4 full ground up remake in the works? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
But honestly, where people were looking for it, wanting it there, that game's not coming out to like from what the leak said for like their whole thing that they had, their whole plan got leaked for the next 10 years or some shit, right? It's like it's supposed to be like 2023 or something like that. 2023, I think is what the year was for that. So that's too early, anyways.
Yeah, it's way too early. I think it's probably still if it is being produced right now, still probably in pre-production.
Yeah,
early concept.
I'd announce that next year, if anything, which would probably be either if you want to announce it maybe at E3 this year, or you announce it next year at E3. One of the two things.
Yeah, Capcom's super good with their announcements, though. I think they're gonna wait. They're gonna keep it close to their chest until it's closer to release date, because usually they announce their games about a year out. You know what I mean? It's usually a year from when their announcement, stuff like that.
Keep all the eyes on Resident Evil 8 because that's the game that's coming out in less than a month. Keep everybody like engaged and excited for that game.
Yeah, keep the thirst trap real. You know?
Exactly.
Honestly, my thought process was they weren't going to be showing it because their competitive game that they have currently coming online looks too much like Resident Evil 4 quality-wise. And that, that is me taking a jab at Capcom because
It doesn't look good.
It didn't. It looks.
It doesn't.
It
Look good.
literally looks like they took Evil 4. They put a reskin, just a slight reskin enough.
Are you talking
RE-verse?
about Mercenaries or
The
RE-verse?
online one that you and I had a discussion about, the one that
RE-verse.
Yeah, RE-verse.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That looks
The weird
that
battle
whack.
royale thing that they have. Yeah, it
Right?
looks
Okay,
whack.
okay,
Your
for-
hair, whack.
I was-
Your gear, whack.
I was prepared to throw hands, Harv, because I know for a
Yeah.
fact you and I agreed with the fact that it looked janky.
It looks shanky AF, dude. When they showed that in the presentation, it's like, why show this?
Why do they keep
You
giving
just showed-
free
You just
bad
showed Resident Evil 8, which looks beautiful, and then you show that looks like a mobile game a little bit. Like what? No, that's very very bad.
Mario?
That's yeah.
Whenever I want to talk, the dogs just go start barking. So I'll try to get this out. It was weird that the VR thing was not in the presentation. It was something after the fact.
Yeah.
Totally bizarre.
It's what I said. Like I think your headphones were off when I said it, but I think they did that because they did not want to overshadow the Resident Evil 8 stuff. Because Resident Evil 8 is the thing that's coming out next.
Yeah, for sure.
And they'll do Resident Evil 4 and stuff probably when E3 rolls around now because this game comes out in about a month. So
yeah, exactly. And I'm curious. I'm happy about my purchase. A couple of weeks ago when I bought the VR headset. But I'm excited for everything. Limmy Dimitrescu, which is apparently how you pronounce it, was awesome. I'm very excited. And now there's a dog humping a cat. This book in the Beppo is insane.
Sly, what do you think about Resident Evil? What's your Resident Evil? Where are you on the temperature scale?
0 cares. I am not invested. I haven't played a single Resident Evil. It's not my vibe. I don't.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I just hope this game has the tension that Resident Evil 2 had. I hope that. From what I've seen, it doesn't feel like it does, but the story looks really freaking good.
So on my screen,
There we go.
the stream messed up, and I think I saw Sombra. Did Sombra hack our fucking stream? Is that what's going on here? Is this now an Overwatch ARG?
Always.
Always.
No,
But,
I think Harv. I think you're. Yeah, I think you're. It's gonna deliver. At least the demo, just sound wise, they're definitely utilizing Sony's new 3D audio technology, but just the sound of that game is yeah, crazy good. Like you would hear clanking in the background and stuff like that.
I want good puzzles. I want a good story. That's kind of all I want really out of this. The other stuff, I hope for when it comes to the tension and because Resident Evil is good when it's claustrophobic. When you have that feeling claustrophobic, right?
Exactly.
When you're in a mansion, you're in a police department, you're in a house like in Resident Evil 7, right? And I feel like I hope that the castle. I think it's called the castle, right?
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
There's a castle, and I think there's a village as well.
Yeah,
there's
I'm
two
hoping
settings.
the castle has that feeling to it. I really do, because I know the village is going to be a little bit more open, kind of like Resident Evil 4 a little bit, I feel. But I'm hoping that the castle at least gives you that feeling where, oh man, if I run somewhere, I'm not safe, kind of type thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I'm honestly excited.
Yeah, I'm very stoked for this. I love Resident Evil, man. Resident Evil, it's one of my favorite series. So
I love me some Resident Evil, man.
Same.
I love horror games. We don't get enough of them. The problem is we're very deprived of horror games to the point where it happens every 2 or 3 years. We'll get a good horror game. I mean,
but honestly, Resident Evil has done really well the last couple of years. 3 was take it or leave it. 3 was a decent game. Wasn't great, but it was decent. But 2 and 7 kind of give me hope in what direction they're going.
Yeah, this is definitely made by Capcom's A team, whereas 3, I hate to say it, sorry guys, but it was made by a B team and they didn't do too well with it.
Well, it came out so quickly after 2, right? That I was so when I heard that 3 was coming out, not even a year, I think it was 9 months or something like that after 2 came out or something. And I was so surprised at that. I was like, that turnaround was crazy then. But I guess they were working on them at the same time, so that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's it for our little Resident Evil discussion. Fee is actually going to take it away with our next article here. Fee, go ahead and do your thing.
Hello. Well, Resident Evil and Capcom wasn't the only particular group that had a presentation this week. Nintendo did their Indie World Showcase on Thursday, which was honestly really exciting. Nintendo wrapped up its latest Indie World Showcase with over 20 new titles. We saw a great mixture of different genres, art styles, and play styles as well. They made sure that there was a game for everyone at this particular conference. Some of the highlights, and they actually started off with this particular game, which was Road 96, which players will venture through 148,268 potential storylines depending on how you play the game, and this comes out later on this year. The next is the Longing from Studio Swift.
Sevs.
I absolutely apologize for butchering that name. It is a folklore-inspired game of a servant waiting for his king for 400 days. Real time.
The 400 days in real time. This game the character looks creepy, but from what I've seen, he looks like a Dobby.
Yeah.
He looks like Dobby in a way, and he's waiting for his master for 400 days.
This it reminded me of like a Tim Burton wet dream, and I don't want to play it.
Valid.
Excuse me?
It just
The fact that the premise is like you have to play it for like forever. I'm just like,
okay.
okay, I'm good.
It definitely looked creepy. I watched a little bit. I think it was Crafty was playing it, and I was on edge. It was uneasy, to say the least. But yeah, you slowly go through the catacombs, and by slowly, I mean the guy walks very slowly. You complete some puzzles, and you honestly contemplate existence and why you're playing this game. However, once the 400 days are up, who knows what happens?
That one, what is it like? Don't they have a film out? Or like John Malkovich or something like that have a film where like it'll get released like 60 years from now or something like that?
John Malkovich shot a film apparently for I think either a car company or a drink. I'm not sure, but yeah, supposedly in a millennia or 100 years is when it'll be released.
Yeah.
Wow. Some other kind of shout outs. There was Aerial Knights Never Yield, which is made by a small company actually in Detroit, and it actually looks really great. I really like the particular concept of this game because it was made by a group who they were not accepted by the gaming industry where they were, so they decided to make their own little spot, which is awesome. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge comes out later this year, and many more games. And they also ended off the conference with a surprise, which was Oxenfree 2 The Lost Signal, which we got to see a little bit of that, which is really exciting for the Oxenfree fans. My question for each and every one of you is, what did you think of the event, and what were you guys excited for? I'm going to start off by asking Mario.
Yes, honestly, I'm sad you left it off, but Fez, which is one of my favorite games of all time, I'm happy that it's coming out for the Switch. I bought it immediately.
Awesome.
Of course. Yeah. And yeah, sorry, dog is talking to me. Okay. And I'm very much excited because I'm a huge fan of Oxenfree. Love it. Can't believe I'm getting a direct sequel. That's insane.
Yeah.
And yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love the game on the 360. I know it's it was a remake or remaster or whatever. Happy there's a whole new version of that. So super excited for those.
Awesome. And Harv, what did you think, and what were you excited for?
I mean, I like the presentation. It was good because they did a really good job with it. The only part I didn't like is like that last part where they just showed games and they didn't say anything. Or Fez was involved, right? Like they didn't say anything about it, right? They just kind of put it into like a montage. But my most exciting game out of this is TMNT because I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games. I just love them so much because I remember playing the NES version as when I was a kid, and I played that thing nonstop with my friend. But I am really, really excited for that. Other than that, like everything else was kind of like they're cool indie games, like really, really cool indie games. And the Switch just it's still a powerhouse for indie games.
Valid.
Still a huge powerhouse for indie games, which is really, really good to see.
I honestly,
Chat-
I was thinking that you were gonna say that you were like excited for Getsufuma Den because I still think this is definitely your
Oh,
type of game.
there's one other one that was on there, but you didn't put on. Skull something.
Yes, Skull, the one where you replace the heads.
Yes, that one I'm really excited about because that gives me Dead Cell vibes,
Yeah.
and that game looks freaking awesome.
Yeah.
It looks really, really good. So I think that one I'm most excited for is
Nice.
Skull.
Shout out also to Ariel Knight, who put his Twitter handle in the title of his game. That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also, I definitely apologize in advance for the people who are listening who are like, wait, why didn't you list off the game that I was excited for? Here's the thing. There's 20 plus games that were announced. And I think all the games are great. I just wanted to say that before everyone's just like, she didn't say the game that I like, because I just want to clear that up a little bit. Not putting any shade on any of you. I'm just saying that, like, I could have just listed off all the games.
Oh, don't worry. We put shade on you about it, so it's totally.
Yeah, how
I
dare
know.
you
did
not pick the
twice.
game I like?
Not once, but twice. So I'm just putting that out there. If you guys want me to list off video games for an hour, then I'm more than happy to do that. I can just sit here and talk about video games for a straight hour of everything that was released. Honestly, I would probably really enjoy that, but I digress.
Nice.
Thumbs up. So yeah, how did you feel about the direct, and what are you most excited for, Sly?
Well, I remember seeing Road 96 at a previous something or whatever. I
was,
just
yeah,
know
it
that
was.
it's on my Steam wish list already. So it was really great to see that again. I think that was probably my highlight from the show. I mean, everything looked great, but that's definitely the one that I think would be most up my alley.
Awesome.
But overall, yeah, everything looked great.
Because I do remember seeing that game, Road 96, somewhere else, but I
it was
don't
at the
remember
Game
where it
Awards.
was.
I'm pretty sure it was at the Game Awards.
Or
You're
one of the
probably-
award
I
ceremonies.
think that was
Yeah.
it.
I think
Yeah,
you're right.
it
The
was
Game Awards.
Game Awards, yeah.
Yeah. No, I was like, that was the one I was excited for. So when I saw it and heard that it was coming to Switch, I'm like, hell yeah. I'm pretty pumped. And Frank, what are you most excited for?
Probably Road 69. I think
Road
I'm a little.
96.
I almost nodded
Oh,
to
it's
that.
Road 96.
I almost just
okay.
accepted that.
I was about to say
Nice.
nice. No, I that's
we
probably the
did
only
say
game I'm
poker.
really, really super excited about. But the problem is I don't necessarily trust the idea of 148,268 potential stories. I've heard this claim before. We've probably all heard this claim before. Whether or not that means a bunch of random events tied to 3 very distinct endings is up to thing. But I do trust that the game does have some good what's the word for it? What do they call that when the game procedurally generated levels and stuff like that? I'm curious to see how that works. I'm just curious on like if the endings will also be different as well, because we've all seen like games like Walking Dead and like all these other games where like your choices you have a bunch of these choices, but they all end up the almost exact same way.
Yeah.
That's why I was
So-
very excited. Like,
So-
I'm still intrigued about Detroit because I played Detroit Become Human, and it has like that little thing where like the ending could be whatever it is. But I'm in the same boat as you for Road 96. Like, it looks cool, it looks very interesting, but I don't know if I like. There's just something about where somebody says that many numbers for like a permutation of something. Like, is that just like if I say no to something that has no consequence to anything? Is that like a permutation? Does that become a permutation in a way, right?
Mhm.
I'm very hesitant about that.
Yeah.
So when it comes to these games, and specifically this one, because it definitely looks like it's procedurally generated. When it comes to all the different options, I'm trying to remember who said this better than how I'm about to say, but basically, it's these games. We kind of have to like not think of the fact that yes, there is a defined ending, and there's always going to be a defined ending or defined endings, because Mass Effect has 3 endings. You know, like. I think that the way we have to think about it's the color we add as players, how we perceive and decide to go about the route in which we objectively see the story.
Yeah,
So
it's the journey. It's the journey, right? Not the
yeah,
ending.
it's always,
It's the journey of it.
it's like, yeah, for sure.
I mean, that goes into why I love Don't Nod games so much. Is that you can inhabit that world for as little or as long as you want to. And you don't have to look at every single thing, but you can. And that just adds more to the world, but it's still, one contained story, and you have like one or two options that really change
Yeah.
the
Especially
ending.
Especially
But-
Life is Strange 1,
Yeah, I like the ending of Life is Strange 1, I'm not as big on, but I really enjoy that they narrow it down, and at the end of their games it's either this or this. What happened? Like, I'm not necessarily big into like the open, like the endings whatever you want
Yeah.
it to be. I like when games kind of force you to, choose how that is going to end, even if it feels like there's not so much choice sometimes.
This is why I liked Last of Us Part 2 at the end, right? Because like this is bringing it back to that is because they told you a story and they gave you that story. And where people thought that you were supposed to have a choice between the two, no, let them choose let them make that story, like make the ending for you. The journey is all you, right? Like we were saying, like you take this decision, you take this decision, you take that decision. A lot of people get fixated on the ending of a game, and that is like, oh my god, like my choices didn't mean anything. In the end, the choices did mean something, because maybe you missed an NPC over here, maybe you missed the items over here, maybe you missed something else over there, right? So like in my way was like pretty much, yeah, you summed it up perfectly. Just like it's the journey, and what Mario said too, it's the journey that you guys take, that we take all the way to the end. Let them pick the ending for me, honestly, because I'm in the same boat where like I don't want to sit at a message board and looking at other people's stories and be like, oh, I gotta think about this now.
Yeah, think about this. What is this?
I just spent 30 hours in your game, man. I'm done. The other game that I'm really excited about, that I want to touch on is Labyrinth City, which is a Where's Waldo-esque game. I love the art style of this game. The art style is so good. Because I remember growing up on Where's Waldo books and stuff like that, especially when I was at the doctor's office and stuff like that. So this kind of gets me excited a little bit.
Harv 100% was like one of those highlight kids that had like the highlight magazines.
You've been doing a lot of that
yeah,
too.
I think so.
Isn't that
I
what
remember
you've been
getting
kind
them
of
from
playing?
Scholastic, I think. Yeah.
Harv, isn't that what you kind of been playing anyway on stream with the Geo thing that you've been playing? It's kind of like Where's Waldo?
GeoGuessr?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot that I'm playing GeoGuessr now too, guys. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun until you get a place in none of it, and you're like, "Where the hell am I?" Because everything looks the same, and there are no towns.
I was doing really good when you were doing it.
We don't know because we were not. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I was getting false reports from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no proof.
Yeah, there's no proof.
Yeah.
I hate you guys. I just straight up dislike.
Well, speaking of hate, we're not hating on Sony this week because Sony caught a dub. Sony finally caught a dub. This comes from IGN's Adam Bankhurst. In its first 5 months on the market, the PlayStation 5 has become the fastest-selling console in U.S. history in both unit and dollar sales, as revealed by the NPD Group's Matt Piscatella. This news arrives 1 month after the PS5 became the fastest-selling console in U.S. history in dollar sales. Despite that new record, the Nintendo Switch has continued to reign as the best-selling hardware platform in both units and dollars during March 2021. However, the PS5 did rank first in hardware dollar sales in Q1 of 2021. Yeah, PlayStations are selling. I don't know where people are getting these PlayStations. I said I would touch on it later. I finally got a computer. The GP. I finally found a Micro Center that had a 3070 pre-built system. I went over there and I copped it. There are people literally lined up outside the door, like already at 4:30 in the afternoon for tomorrow, just to get a chance at getting some GPUs. The reason I bring that up is because for the last 6 months I've been doing Newegg Shuffle, and PS5s have been on there, Xbox Series S's have been on there, GPUs, 3070s and stuff like that. The GPU market is actually getting worse. Getting silicon right now is an absolute pain. I probably don't need to reiterate that because guess what? Every week they say it's getting worse. So
I mean,
I don't know.
when you said last week that it might get better because of all that stuff that's happening, I don't see it getting better at all for this entire year. This entire year is going to watch for this.
I'm definitely losing hope. And if you're out there right now looking for a PS5, Xbox Series S, X, or even a GPU, I would suggest if you're on the PC front, get a pre-built. Don't worry. Don't try to buy it, a la carte. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. There's too many bots out there. Unless you're camping outside of a micro center.
The four of us, me, Sly, Frank, and Mario got. I mean, you two got hooked up.
I don't
you
need
two got hooked up.
I'm good.
Yeah, Sly and I, we got lucky with our
with our PS5s.
With our PS5s.
Yeah. We also, And if you're looking for a PS5 or an Xbox Series S, I really would highly recommend looking at the Newegg Shuffle. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but they do seem to have a good amount of quantity. I think I got like 30 notifications last night about Xbox Series S and X's being in stock. So don't give up hope on that front. But at the same time, there's not really much out there for either console to really necessarily have the need to upgrade unless you're trying to play something like RE8 or Returnal or
but on that note though, this article, what do we got?
Yeah, I don't know where they're getting sales. I don't know how they're getting these sales. Where are these consoles? The reason I bring that up is because where are these consoles coming from? How are they outselling a Switch, which was already kind of popular before the consoles came out? These consoles are not necessarily easy to come by.
It's big, and the crazy thing is this is both. This is also dollar made, which obviously you can see that because this is a $500 console, while the Switch is what $299, right? In the US. So, but it also is unit sales, which is crazy to think about.
Exactly,
it's both.
Factor in that is the scarcity, and you know how Nintendo will always try to breed false scarcity to up their numbers. That's the thing, is scarcity really does increase sales because since there's so many people saying it's impossible to get a PS5, if you see one, you're going to buy it. No matter, even if you necessarily wouldn't, if you have any sort of thought about trying to get a PS5, if you see one, you will immediately buy it because you don't know when you're going to see it again. And I think the scarcity is really doing them a good deal on selling their consoles because anytime one is in stock, somebody's going to pick it up thinking it's the last time they're ever going to see it, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Either
and
that
I
or
also blame Wario64 because I swear that guy puts out a link and then everyone just has to get it. That's how I got a Series S this weekend too, is because of either Nebellion or Wario64.
Yeah, I got one because of Wario64. That's why I got mine. So, that's the thing. It's crazy to think about that PlayStation is. I don't feel like PlayStation is doing this on purpose though. This is not a purpose thing. I feel like Nintendo does this a little bit more on purpose than anything else. I think this is just scarcity for parts and stuff like that, right? And I honestly, maybe it's not even COVID related anymore at this point because China is pretty much out of COVID at this point, from what their point is. So I don't know. I think this is just everybody just wanting it now, because gaming has just increased exponentially in the last even 5 years, you would call it, right? And now it's just gotten so massive that finding units can be difficult. And when it comes to Xbox, I mean, they're selling pretty well. I'm guessing they're selling pretty well for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a good stock of those. Definitely seeing a decent stock of Series S's. A lot of Series S's. A little bit less on the Series X side.
But you know what? It's a great thing for PlayStation. It's great.
Good for PlayStation. Good for you guys.
They needed to win this year.
Yeah, they're
for a little bit at least.
At least the business side of PlayStation is working out pretty well because they on the customer goodwill side they're slowly losing it.
Honestly, though, I've been looking at this. I've been looking at this whole thing with PlayStation and the whole thing about big and bigger games and all that kind of stuff. Does the mainstream even care?
No.
That's where I'm at. Do they even care? When It Last of Us comes out, remastered, people are gonna buy it. When God of War 2 comes out, people are gonna buy it. Horizon Zero Dawn 2 comes out, they're gonna buy it. That's just I think this is the gaming industry just being like, oh my god, they're doing this. But like when it comes to mainstream people that don't care about that kind of stuff, they're just gonna buy whatever comes out.
Yeah, people who don't follow the industry kind of just buy whatever's kind of out. A lot of the times when I'm at GameStop, I see a lot of people just go in and say, hey, you know, what's the newest game out? Stuff like that. They're not really necessarily, they don't really necessarily know what's going on. There was one guy last week who threw a fit over not being able to find like PlayStation 4 controllers and PlayStation 5 controllers. And we had to explain to him, like, bro, I don't work at GameStop. I was just there. One of the employees was there, and I was just like, bro, we're in a shortage. Like, do you not know that there's a shortage of this stuff? And he's like, there's a shortage of this stuff? And I'm like, where the fuck have you been?
Where have you been?
What rock have you been hiding under?
Did you just come out of a coma? Like, what is this? But no, yeah, a lot of people don't know there's a shortage of these things, and even like you have like moms and dads going in saying, I'm trying to pick up my son a PS5. It's like they're out of stock, man, and you know, it causes a lot of weird issues. But yeah, I don't think people really know. People are really paying attention, honestly.
This is why I think that, dude, whatever they put out, people are going to buy them.
Mm-hmm. They're looking
are
at the
going to buy
numbers.
them.
They're not looking
Yeah.
at the goodwill of it.
Yeah. I gotta mute myself for a little bit here for a second. So
Yeah, take your time. Everybody's leaving the podcast.
Well,
we've lost another one. In fact, I gotta go use the washroom. I'll be right. I'm just playing. No.
Wow.
Instead, we're going to actually take a break here, and we will move to our next article when everybody gets back.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry, I had to like get that dog out of the parking lot. Okay, now it looks like that we've moved on to the pitch. Fly, you have something special for us.
I do have something special for you all.
Ooh, I'm
As
excited.
you all know, I yell about podcasts a lot. It's something that I really enjoy, and a lot of people think of podcasts as like what we're doing now, just like typical chatting about various things in different sorts of fields. But one of my favorite things that I really enjoy are audio dramas, sort of like old-fashioned radio plays where they're really like narrative-driven podcasts. And I know you all are very interested in different sort of genres. And so I've put together a collection of what I would say are the best introductory podcasts per each genre to kind of ease people into the idea of audio dramas. So I'm going to start off with space and time travel. Frank, you like space and time travel?
Yes, but Harv has something to say.
Oh, I
Harv
was
has
just gonna.
something to
The only
say.
thing I was gonna say is like I've never listened to one of these kind of podcasts before.
Oh,
It's always been like some sort of news is happening, some sort of this is happening. I've never had like a narrative experience on a podcast before.
And there are so many amazing narrative experiences in podcasts. So I just wanted to kind of introduce you all to some different experiences.
yeah, I love time travel in space. I just love the idea of the infinite possibilities that the idea of space brings, and even time travel itself, because everybody has a rule, right? You can't go back, you can't look at your past self, but sometimes they bend that rule. You know, you got your butterfly effects, all these cool things. I love that kind of stuff. I love seeing just the universe kind of recorrect itself in ways, and just seeing the universe.
What if I told you there's a podcast about a space station orbiting
okay.
a star,
Mhm.
and it is a story with the vibe of like a golden age radio play, like those like old-fashioned stories, but with awesome
Oh.
audio, fun stories about the daily life or death emergencies of
Mhm.
this space crew searching for signs of alien life and discovering their mission might not be quite what they thought it was.
I think I can see it. I can almost hear it almost. It's got that. Does it have that like old timey like this week follow your people or something like that?
It has reminiscent of
Okay.
that in
Yeah.
the fact where one of the main characters is a huge fan of those type of movies and shows and makes a lot of references to that era, and the sound design makes you feel like you're in a spaceship, and it's just really fun.
That sounds awesome. Actually, I'm totally into it. It's called. What is it called?
It's called Wolf 359, which is the name of the star that the space station is orbiting.
I'm already putting that in another tab for later, so I can check this out.
Awesome. Let's go over to Fee. Fee, you're obsessed with. Oh, Fee's on the phone. All right.
Okay.
Out of that transition.
Fee has currently transformed into Theodore Tugboat for this part. Okay, she's retransformed into Fee. Hello, Fee. Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right.
I don't know why you transformed. Oh shit, that's crazy. That was the sound of Fee transforming back into Theodore Tugboat, and now Fee's back in her normal form again. Fee, stop doing that. Mario is praising the Pope over here. I think he's dying. I don't know what's going on.
I think the Pope cursed him.
The Pope, I think he saw the check.
I think I'm turning into Wolf, whatever the name of that star was.
Mario is getting the check.
How
This
did
is very
I end
chaotic.
that? Because I do not remember how I ended that sentence.
You just transitioned to Fee and said, "Hey, Fee, I'm gonna move it over to you."
So Fee,
okay.
you're
Let me do that again.
it was more like Fee, you're a fan of.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's-
All right, let's go over to Fee. So you're a big fan of crime/mystery. I know you love Nancy Drew games, Sherlock, that kind of vibe, right?
Absolutely.
How do you feel about Shakespeare?
Love it. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler
What
than
if
mine. Continue. Yeah.
What if I told you that there's an audio drama about the solving of mysteries that each season is a vague reference to a Shakespeare play?
I love it already.
So the podcast is called Arden, and it's a podcast about two women making a true crime podcast.
Mhm.
So there's a podcast within a podcast all about, working to solve mysteries, and each season is a different Shakespeare theme. I'm not going to say what the seasons are because I feel like it gives a little spoil to the mysteries. But again, Arden, it's a true crime podcast within an audio drama. It's so good. It's so fun.
Sounds awesome.
All right. Harv, what are your thoughts on thriller and horror stuff? I know you love Resident Evil.
Yeah, I am a huge fan of horror. There is not enough horror out there, in my opinion. Not enough good horror out there. And give me some of that
Wow.
thrills. Give me some of those thrills. Give me some of those thrills.
There's some pretty excellent horror audio dramas. One of the ones I think is the best introduction to like horror audio dramas is called Station Blue. It's by words. It's about a man who is kind of going through a rough time in his life and just needs to escape, get out, get into a different environment. So he applies to a job as the caretaker of a research facility in Antarctica. And so he goes down to this facility all by himself to get it prepared for, a bunch of researchers. And he is alone, suffering from mental illness, and might not be so alone. The atmosphere of this audio drama is incredible. The sound design is horrifyingly good.
That just sounds. My anxiety just went up the roof. Just imagining myself at like a facility like Antarctica. Oh my god, that would be horrifying.
That sounds awesome.
But that actually sounds really, really cool though. That's like something that you like that I would love to like just kind of not experience myself, but experience as in like a format kind of type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's podcast,
it's a beautiful story. It touches on themes of mental illness, dealing with heartbreak, and being alone, but maybe not so alone in the middle of nowhere. It's beautiful. I think you would love it.
It's fun because I hope that a lot of the some of the audio dramas that you discussed, like especially the one that you told Frank, they're very similar to premises that I've seen before. But I'm excited to see like what you can do with the audio form of how to tell those stories. Like like it's very much like Aliens or even like Moon, which is a great movie. I'm very curious of how like the sound details that will add to this sort of drama and how they'll take it and where they go with it. So that sounds really cool.
Yeah. And Mario, you're a big fan of comedy, right?
Yeah, I mean, like most of the podcasts, if they're not like a gaming or film related, it's either it's a comedy thing. So like, how did this get made? Doug Loves Movies, or Comedy Bang Bang, or anything like that. Some stand up stuff. But I'm very curious. There's like an audio, like a drama of some sort. Is that what they have? Okay.
Yeah, so there's this show called Greater Boston, and it's kind of more of a sitcom comedy style show, and it's the story of in Boston, there is a specific train line that wants to become an independent, like, sector in the city. So it's this train line that keeps running but tries to petition to become independent within Boston. And it's just a blend of all these different people's stories and their experiences, what brings them to this red line. And it's just so lighthearted and fun and comical, just hearing all these different stories and all of these different experiences. And I think it's definitely your vibe.
That's interesting. For a second there, I was like thinking that the train line was sentient. But you're saying it's sort of like the people on the train.
No, it's the story of the people on the train.
Got it.
Now the idea for a sentient train line would make a great audio drama.
I want like a dirty Thomas the Tank Engine, just CTA or public transportation comedy show. Pretty funny.
That would be great. Let's see what we have next. Let's go back to Frank. I know you're a big Marvel Comics fan, right?
Yeah, I read basically any comic book anywhere. I read a lot of Image, I read a lot of DC, Marvel. Basically, if there's a good story to be had, I'm probably reading it.
There's a podcast called Marvels that's based on the graphic novel by Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross.
Yes.
And it takes place after the Fantastic Four's battle with Galactus.
Mm-hmm.
And just talking about the impact of, superheroes on existing in a city.
Yeah.
And so it's based on this story. I will have to say Marvels is the only one I recommended so far that does not have transcripts available. So if that's something you need, just know that that does not exist for the show.
Yeah,
but
it's just it is based on a real comic that you can.
It is based on a real comic, yeah. But it takes that comic book feel, which is, such a vivid imagery kind of vibe, and turns it into audio in a really beautiful way. And I think you would really enjoy it.
I'm definitely gonna check it out. Marvels is a very great book. I really do hope that they don't have the other version of Marvels. I don't remember what it's called. I think Mario knows. There's a really Marvels is really cool because it has like this really great like upbeat superhero feel, and it props up superheroes. They all have like really nice looking stances and stuff like that. Alex Ross does an insane job of making them just kind of look like gods almost. And then Marvel then made Ultimatum, but we're not. It's not Ultimatum. No, it's the other book. I don't remember what it's called. You know what I'm talking about? The Ben Urich book where everything's too realistic.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. This is definitely separate because it's the character exists within Ben Urich's stuff, which is kind of cool. But it is interesting because I assume Sly knows this from the audio. It's very much like ground level perspective, where it is from the person's point of view, not the gods. Like the damage is happening around them as the character is sort of interacting around the world. And I'm very curious how they do that when they explain it, via like sort of this audio drama where it's wing bang boom, but it's told from the perspective of almost like how can I describe it, like a civilian in a Godzilla film, so ground
yeah,
level.
it very much focuses on the perspective of the non-powered folks in this universe and how they kind of have to cope with everything that's going on around them.
I always hope that they would take that concept and actually, since it's an audio drama, that they could tell more than just this one person's story. That'd be kind of cool if they decide to do like sequelizing it and just be like, this is how the world works, kind of like in a World War Z kind of sense, where the book is very much told from other people's perspectives of this World War Z. So I don't know, but very cool.
Yeah, it's really great. All right, so Fee.
Yes.
How do you feel about musicals?
You know how I feel about Hamilton.
And that is very strongly. Well, musicals in the audio drama sphere aren't many, surprisingly, but there are some really solid ones out there. And one of my favorites that's just like a solid story, music, everything is called In Strange Woods. And this is the story of a reporter coming to this town after a tragic accident within the town. It's a very like small, tight-knit community, and they're dealing with this loss and the perspective of how different people sort of rebuild and move on. Okay. And so it's this sort of outsider perspective on this town as they're exploring like themes of grief and relationships and like growing up with beautiful music. That just
Oh no, I was just gonna say that sounds right up my alley.
It just ties the story beats together so well. Like the music never feels jarring or out of place. It just blends into the story and enhances the experience. And it's probably one of the best musical audio dramas, in my opinion.
No, honestly, that like I would definitely check that out. I will admit, when I heard like the title, I'm like, is it like Into the Woods? Because that's a fantastic musical, and I'm all about that. Even though I was slightly let down for a moment because I found out it was not Into the Woods, I'm still very much on board, and I'll definitely have to check it out.
It is definitely not the vibe of Into the Woods, which is very upbeat and happy. It's definitely, exploring the forests and the woods around them that caused a loss of a kid in the community and how they rebuild their relationship with the wilderness around them. But it's on the quality of Into the Woods, not necessarily the themes at all.
Fantastic.
So those are my introductory podcasts for getting into audio dramas. If you want a full recommendation document, I have one. We'll link it in all of the places that you can find this. But I understand looking at that giant list of podcasts can be very overwhelming. So I just wanted to give our audience a quick introduction into a couple different genres so that they can maybe find their new favorite podcast.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Sly, for all those recommendations. Those are all really cool. I'm definitely
Yeah.
gonna excited to check out the Curb U6 Marvels just to see what it's like because I have read that book, so that actually sounds pretty awesome. But yeah, thank you so much. That is a pretty interesting, different thing that not a lot of people take into account when it comes to podcasting. Right? They'll think of like a news podcast or like gossip or their favorite celebrity. The fact that there can be narratives, I think, is actually really, really sweet. And somehow I'm in the air putting my hand on a wall. I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. But again, thank you so much. I think that's going to wrap it up. I know that we normally do listener questions, but I think we're running out of time. I want to thank, obviously, everyone that has continued to listen to us. We've made it to 10 episodes. That is
Woo!
Woo!
that is a feat for
Double
some people.
digits.
Yeah. Get
Double
some.
digits.
Get
Yo,
some.
we double digits. You know what I'm saying?
We're only
So,
42 weeks away from a year. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. And yeah, I obviously I'm gonna go ahead and let's say where we're gonna find us. Fee, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me here. You can find me over at Twitch and on Twitter over at Zoranix. You can find me bi-weekly sometimes over at, speaking of Stadia, this week they announced that they're going to be working in partnership with Stadia Source, which is a website where you can get all your Stadia news, which is fantastic, and great group of people. They've been super welcoming. And it's been super awesome to meet a bunch of new people who are also like mine when it comes to Stadia, which is great. Also, this week, I'm going to be on Marvel Monday over with the Penultimate Conquest, where we talk about the 5th episode of the newest series currently over on Disney+. So yeah.
That's very, very cool. Definitely everyone check those out. Sly, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at SlyCloneMC. You can find me on PiP. Obviously, check out all our socials at Point in Progress, and hopefully send good vibes for the project I'm auditioning for.
Woo!
Fantastic. Harv, where can we find you on the net?
You can find on the net. You can find me at Beard in the Hair everywhere except YouTube, which is Beard in the Hair Gaming. I just recorded I just uploaded a podcast with the one and only Joe Medforce. I don't know if a lot of people know about him, but he's a great UK streamer, awesome content creator over there. Guy has a lot of passion, and I love to see it. So that went out today. And then I'll have a new episode up for next week. But yeah. I want to
wonderful TikToker as well. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Love his
yeah. I want to throw everybody over to that video at least because he is a great person. Just a personality wise and just as a person, he is great.
No, for sure. I think Frank, are you good? Oh no, I think Frank is dead, guys. I think we've done it. We killed off Frank.
Now
I
he's
don't
2
see
blocks
Frank.
that just go around in a circle.
Yeah, he's the PlayStation. Oh no! Is he back?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I
Yep.
can hear you.
There we go.
There it is.
There we go.
No, that was weird. That was weird. I could still hear you guys, and I can talk, but then you weren't hearing me, and I think my thing was frozen as well.
Yeah. Well,
So this is why I bought a new computer. You know,
No.
so this doesn't happen.
Well, go ahead and tell us where can we find you now. When is your next album gonna drop?
My next album's gonna drop when I get off for murder.
Okay, sounds good.
But anyway, you can find me on Twitch at now Kestrel1A, where I will next week definitely be going through some Resident Evil games. I'm trying to get them all done before Resident Evil 8 comes out. I really am trying. It's just so many busy things happening right now. You can also find me at Twitch. No, sorry, at Twitch. At Twitter at Kestrel1A now. And that is Kestrel #1A.
For sure, you got to keep it. So when we eventually get Twitter verified, because we'll be famous. You can't change it. So if you change it, you lose that check mark.
I like this name. I like this name a lot better.
Gotta
It
keep
rolls off the
Okay.
tongue better. I felt like every time I had to say venom unfit snake, there was just so many words there. So
There's a lot of words.
a lot of words. I felt even when I had to type it out, I felt like I was writing a goddamn essay. So now this is a lot easier. Rolls off the tongue.
I
This is
mean,
your new-
once again, you could just type it.
I know Fee, and then Fee's working on a logo for me.
Nice.
It's true.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hit
you
up
can
Fee
find-
for your graphic designs.
Yes, go ahead. Definitely. Fee's killer. She made this. She made the remake, obviously, of our newest layout that we've had. So thank you so much for doing that. You can find me at your local Boca de Beppo, where I love to sit at the boat table and love the spaghetti. So definitely, you can catch me there. You can also find me at twitter.com/thatMarioRivera. You can also find me on twitch.tv/thatMarioRivera. Whenever I decide to play games live anymore, I think I've quit. But you could always obviously find all of us right here at the Point in Progress podcast, where we are thinking critically about things that we love and to let you all know that progress has been made.